What's good, y'all? We are back once again with another philosophical sessions. I'm Khilen, and this is my beautiful wife,
Takara.
and together we are the hosts of Mutual Intentional Love. So, wife, are you ready for this week's question?
Yeah.
So, my question is, what is something or some things that you are not letting go of, even though
You're kidding me.
it limits you in any way, shape, or
That's
fashion?
real similar to last week's, huh?
Your growth, your anything that is holding you back that you are aware of. What is it, and why are you unwilling to let it go?
I don't understand how you could ask me this or make this the question, because watch last week's episode and I literally said I feel like I had done the work of letting go of all things needed to let go. So how could I answer if I don't know?
You could answer by not looking at it from a lens of that's a very narrow lens you were looking through. That was only in the aspect of what part of your past are you not letting go of. Think about your present. Think about things that you want to do. Think about things that you would like to be, and just take a moment to really sit with that and think about who you are and what are the mental blocks you're placing on yourself, or circumstantial environmental things that are keeping you from doing A, B, or C, X, Y, and Z. What do you want to be doing that you're not doing because of something, anything that you
I'm not letting
refuse to
go
let go
of stable, consistent income. That's what I'm not letting go of. And that's what keeps me from doing X, Y, and Z of what I would actually like to do.
Valid. However, do you feel like there's a certain level of that is being used as an excuse? Because you do have time outside of the 9 to 5 to
Do I?
Yes.
Husband?
To do other things that you might want to pursue in your life. But choices are made, and you choose to not. So why is that?
Because it's exhausting because of that 9 to 5. And by the time I get home and deal with all the other roles and responsibilities, then there isn't really much time.
Well, I feel like what that really means is, to me, again, this is my opinion, this is my perception of that, is that it's not really high enough of a priority to you. It's not something that you actually want to do. Because if it's something you actually wanted to do, I feel like sacrifices would be made. Choices would be different to align with the fact that this is something I really want to be doing, and nothing's going to stop me from doing it. Whether I'm tired, whether there's something else I also want to do, this is the thing I want to do the most. So I feel like there are other pieces there that are also true, which means it's not really what you want to be doing. It's something you could see yourself doing as a replacement to what you're currently doing, but not what you want to be doing. Because if it was, you'd be doing it. Even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, I feel like it may not truly be what you want. And if it is, I feel like it's really worth revisiting and taking the time to think about what are the other factors that are really stopping you from doing it. And then coming to a conclusion of what could be done differently to accomplish that, to make it to where it's feasible to actually pursue for you currently without changing circumstances that you're not willing to change or are not practical to change at this time.
Food for thought.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Do you have an answer?
Do I have an answer?
Yeah.
Do I have an answer? I'd say, for me, there is. I'd say it's just the way I'm wired. And that's hard to rewire myself. But it's something I'm actively working on because it is something I want to do. It is something I want to pursue, and it is something I want to make a change that's lasting and impactful in my life that could be purposeful and allow me to pursue my own purpose that I feel is something I'm called and compelled to do on a greater scale than I'm currently doing, because I'm holding myself back for several reasons. One being privacy. I like my privacy. I always have. I was raised to value privacy. And that's one thing that's hard to let go of, because there's still a certain level of separation that I keep in place, intentionally so, through what I'm doing on social media and what I share publicly, as opposed to a broader picture of who I am, why I am who I am, and the full scope of my life, past, present, all of the things. Because I do value that privacy, and I do value being able to keep a certain level of separation, because I do have the mindset that everything isn't for everybody. And even with as open as I am becoming and actively strive to be with sharing certain things about myself and my life, I do feel like some things should remain private, just for the simple fact that they are sacred for us. I feel like, in my mind, there are certain things that should be kept for the person I'm in a relationship with, even if it is something that could help someone else. There's a personal level to it that I feel like the current state of social media and the nature surrounding it, people want access to parts of your life that really they shouldn't necessarily be privy to, because they're not a part of the actual dynamic that revolves around it. They just want to see in, which also ties into what we were just watching couples therapy, and I was talking about it last night. There's a sickness, almost a level of perversion of privacy and lack thereof, where people have become very voyeuristic, and they like to peer into other people's lives and have the privacy and anonymity to do that without any of the ramifications or emotional investment that comes along with it. It's not like you're a part of the conversation. You're not a part of the unit. You're not a part of our relationship. You're not a part of our family. You're watching us. And there's a certain level of that, is how much is enough? Where's the line? Where do you draw that line of what to share, when to share, and with whom to share? Because once it's here, it's just here. It's out there. People have access to us in a way that's altered. We are giving them access to us in a way that is very intimate. We're giving real pieces of our lives that gives them the ability to affect us in any given way they choose to use the information that we're giving them. And that's always a thought in my mind of what to say, when to say it, what I don't want to say. And that's one thing that's potentially limiting me at this time in choosing what do I want to say, what do I not want to say. Then there's also the ego that exists. And how vulnerable do I want to allow myself to be in such a public way? Like there are things that are still sensitive to me. There are things that are still insecurities of mine that could be relatable, that could help people, that having those conversations in a public way could be for a greater good and a greater purpose past my own ego. However, it's the humanity of it all and the fact that that ego does exist. Right. And it's difficult for me to be willing to put myself in completely out in the open, in the forefront, by myself, with the focus on me entirely, under the microscope for any and everybody, to analyze and give opinions and scrutinize and judge and just be privy to, because with all the positiveness that can come from it, there's also the flip side that does exist and comes with it. You don't get one without the other.
Is that ego or is it fear of the flip side?
It's ego and caution, because it's not necessarily a fear of public perception, because that's not something that is such a big factor. It is ego of not wanting to allow you to have a perception of me that is inaccurate, but one that could be perceived through your own understanding of the information that I'm giving you, to be used and twisted in a way that is intentionally harmful towards me, that I could allow to affect me greater than it should.
Right, because why would it matter what if they're wrong?
Because if they're wrong, they're wrong.
Right.
But there's the reality of it where people say, words don't matter. If it's not true, it doesn't matter. But it does, because I'm giving you things that have the ability to affect me emotionally. And there's a level to that, which is you have to be a certain level of selfless in order to do that. Because with what I want to do, the goal is to help others and offer insight into certain things that they may not be able to have access to, visibly being able to see the information and the knowledge and the perspective that is lacking as a voice. And it's just like, it's a struggle for me, letting go of that piece, that portion of it, to allow me to share more freely, to share more of myself. And that is a limitation. And it's always just like a level of overthinking as well,
Yeah.
because all of the thoughts are there. Because I like to play chess, not checkers. I'm always thinking several steps ahead. I'm always thinking of all the different ways one action can have 50 different domino effects.
Right.
So before I make a move, I like to be certain of what it is that I'm doing and what the potential outcome could be.
Right.
And do everything that I can to make sure the outcome is the most advantageous as possible. So it's a very interesting position to be in.
Yeah.
And that I would say,
I guess for me, I don't know the difference still
is a limitation
between fear, like when I said is it fear or ego, because I feel like that's what it is for me. Like, because I don't have any issue telling you anything. Like, you want to ask me something, I'll give you the truth.
Yeah.
So it's I don't. Yeah, I did it. like, would I advise like doing the same thing? No.
Yeah.
But,
I feel like for me it's more of the access to information and the ramifications of such, what can come with the information that I'm
right,
giving.
that's what I'm saying though. Like, it's like, I guess I just still don't understand the ego part, because for me it's just fear of having to deal with people's perceptions, like you said. Like, yeah, why does it matter? Like, why does it matter what you think of me if I know the truth about me? But
I guess for me, it's just really because I value my sense of self.
Yeah.
Highly. It's one of the things that is most valuable to me in this world.
And then you're opening the door to people attack you.
I'm opening the door for people to.
But what about all the love? Like, you can't have one. Can't have one without the other.
True, but it again leans into the emotional aspect of it. The emotion and the ego that's behind that is because there will be several comments that there are wonderful and supportive, but there's also those that can speak on aspects of myself. I'm giving them access to the cracks in the armor and allowing them to pinpoint areas of
insecurity. So, like, I guess, but I don't know. Like, I feel like it's still something you can learn from. Like,
there's of course something to learn from.
You know, like what you can further secure.
But that's the thing. I'm so self-aware. I know, and that's why I am hesitant to allow anybody else access
to me
to lean on certain buttons and press certain buttons and trigger certain things within me that I am not 100% comfortable with. And it's just like, should it matter? Probably not. But there are times when it does. And also simply just having that value of my sense of self. Like, it bothers me a great deal to have my character questioned or assassinated in any way.
That's fair.
It bothers me a great deal because, especially when it's inaccurate. If it's like, man, you got a point. Sure, that's true. But if you're coming up with a baseless claim that's entirely false, that you fervently believe and are out here spreading misinformation intentionally against my character, I take issue with that.
Yeah.
Because now that's a personal attack on something that I value highly. And that it's like, when you're faced with that, what do you do? Like, where? Yeah, that there is that option, because, but also what is it that make you feel comfortable enough to even say such a thing? And
they're crazy.
And then also, yes, there are the people that you can't reason with that are absolutely crazy, but it's the people who are some level of sane, who feel like this is a judgment that they came to.
And just trolls.
And then the trolls, but then there are those who I would consider to be intellectually sound. And to me it would be fascinating. It would be.
Why would they be saying like that? What?
It's just very interesting, and just knowing myself well enough to know.
Okay, wait. I think I get it. I mean, but also, I don't know. It's still anybody who's intellectually sound and says something negative about you. It still probably isn't even about you, and they're really projecting and talking about themselves.
True, which is the whole point of the limitation. The limitation is of self, and it's not so much external. It's a self-imposed limitation. But within that limitation, it's formed due to knowledge, overthinking, environment, situations, and reality, and also an abundance of caution and wisdom, and using that wisdom and being able to discern what to do, what to say, and when. Because that'll help you a lot in life, and listening to that discernment.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that to this point, it's been difficult for me to decipher between the two. What is solely in here and just the thoughts that are self-imposed versus discernment of you might not want to do that, and what truly is the thing that's holding you back from doing a certain thing. Is it just your own thoughts, or is it deeper than that, with the discernment to know that ain't it?
Yeah. It's tough, because how do you really ever get that answered?
You really don't until you make a move.
Right.
You can't stay still but for so long. To which point it's like timing. And it's like, it's all the things. So I'd say those are some of my limitations currently.
Do you remember how you worded the original question?
Yes. What is something or some things that are you refusing to let go of, that are limiting you in some way, shape, form, or fashion, be it growth or what have you, just a limitation that you're not letting go.
Because I mean, like, I know what you're talking about, but when we started talking about social media things, I just could see like the viewer being like, what are they talking about? Because like we didn't
directly address the specifics of it. We just have been having our conversation that the two of us know what we're talking about.
To me right
but
now.
We're letting you all be privy to this conversation.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And I think that it's still like, even when like I witness people speaking codes, like, oh yeah, they speaking a code. But you can still take that, and it makes it actually easier to apply it to what it may mean for you, because we're not like being so specific anyways. So it can be applied in multiple different ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's funny. Sheesh.
Yeah, so I'd say currently where I specifically am working on removing those self-imposed limitations and forging new paths ahead. We're charting uncharted territory.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. So as always, everybody, keep it intentional and support love. Stay well and prosper, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.